Social Norm Violation Laboratory. My name is Vince, and I just want to talk to you about norms today. Norms are a normal expected behaviors of people, and there is a scale of norms. On one side of the scale you have folkway, and if you break a folkway, nothing really happens. Folkways being a standard of behavior that are socially unapproved but morally insignificant. And then on the other side of the spectrum is laws and taboo. So laws are a formal body of rules enacted by the state. If you break these laws, then jail time or severe punishment will ensue, as opposed to folkway where you just might get some interesting looks. We're going to take a look at a violation of a folkway today, specifically in the Canisius College Library. And last, the norm that is just more significant than folkway is more, and that's a norm of morality that if broken will offend some people of a specific nature. And then again we have taboo between more and law. So taboo is a culture absolutely forbids this behavior. So and often taboo becomes law over time, or in the civilization. And if you break one of these norms, you become ostracized from society. Should it be a law or taboo? All right, on to Michaela.
Thank you, Vince. So the folkway that we will be breaking today is not interrupting people's conversation. Our research question is, how will people react if their conversation is interrupted? We believe, our hypothesis, is that if we interrupt a conversation, then the conversation will stop. People will feel uncomfortable, that type of thing.
Hannah here, and I'm here to talk about our research methods. On a Wednesday night, all four of us took turns approaching groups of people, and we inserted ourselves into their conversation. These conversations were both virtual conversations on the phone or on FaceTime, and also conversations that were occurring in real life. And we actually have two examples that we'd like to show you now, and then Christian will discuss our results.
Alright folks, here we are today in the Canisius College Library. We do have a conversation to our left over here, and we'll be interrupting it shortly. Here we go. How would you finish the program if you're not in the program already? Sorry, what? I said, how are you joining the program if you're not already in the program already?
Do you know what program we're talking about?
I have no idea. I'm just barging in.
Really? You want to do the assignment for us?
Yeah, seriously,
Oh, wow.
welcome.
Oh, well, thank you so much, guys.
Okay. Thanks, sir.
Okay, full time.
Yeah. This guy over here in the library, he appears to be FaceTiming or Snapchatting, I'm not sure which. I think I'm gonna go over and say hello.
Yeah,
I mean, not
it's
like
going pretty
older
good.
than me.
I mean,
Hey, do I know him? Who are you talking to?
no,
Well, I just saw you talking to someone.
it's my friend.
Oh, you want to say hi for me?
She says hello.
Who's this? Introduce me.
This is Vince,
Oh.
my roommate.
Oh, am I interrupting you?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
Do I know your name?
Oh, I'm Hannah.
Hannah? Or
It's like Hannah, but a little bit different. Yeah. So,
is it Hannah?
hey, nice to meet you. I feel like am I interrupting? Like, I could leave if you want.
I mean, it's okay.
Oh, okay.
As you saw in the previous two videos, we went up to a 19-year-old male FaceTiming one of his friends, and we went up to a group of 3 girls. Both of these videos were taken with permission of the people. In the group of 3 girls, you saw that they were surprised once we interrupted them in their conversation, but then they used sarcastic remarks and kind of included us in the conversation. This was in contrast to the 19-year-old male, where the 19-year-old male also acted surprised at first, but then he felt like since we were interrupting him, he stopped his conversation, and he felt uncomfortable. It was pretty obvious by the way he was talking to us. Other examples show that smaller groups were more likely to totally stop their conversation, as larger groups of people were more likely to include us in our conversation. Another example is I went up to a group of 2 guys. They were talking about a girl or something, and I tried to get in the conversation, and they completely stopped. But obviously there's confounding variables too, such as the group of guys, it might have been something private, or one of the guy's girlfriends, he didn't want to talk about that to me, a stranger. So there's confounds in everything. We don't know. Again, the 19-year-old male also might be having a more private conversation. As a group of girls, they were talking about a project, so that was a little less private. So that might have also had an effect on that.
Hi again. Yeah, this was definitely a remarkable experience for me. Interesting responses coming from the interruption of various conversations. I do think it was difficult for me to break these social norms, folkway, whatever you want to call them, simply because I was taught not to interrupt conversations, and just the process of socialization that my parents underwent with me. The idea of teaching norms and values was done at an early age of mine, therefore interrupting conversations was difficult for me.
So this was an interesting experience. I was definitely reluctant to approach the groups. It's breaking a social norm, so of course, it's something that makes a person feel uncomfortable. Once I went in and started talking, it was either extremely uncomfortable or it was actually really funny and entertaining, depending on how the people in the group reacted. A reason why I think it might have been hard to do this is because we're so used to not having to deal with outsiders coming into our conversations, kind of throwing things off. It's just normal, it's comfortable to talk to people you know, have a conversation going, and then someone can just jump into the mix and throw things off. It can be a little tough. So I think that's why it felt hard to break this norm.
When we started to break the social norms, it was definitely uncomfortable at first because you're just not used to inserting yourself into a conversation in which you don't belong. But as I continued breaking the social norm, I found it become easier because I was playing the role. But overall, it was challenging to start, but in the end, it ended up being a fun project.
The experiment was kind of weird for me. I usually like to stick with my own friends. Going with strangers it's very awkward, I thought, in my own personal opinion. That's why I thought it was hard. But honestly, it wasn't too bad. I mean, different cultures have different ways of talking to people, and I know, especially in the Italian culture, going with a stranger is a little less norm breaking. So I guess, it's not only dependent on how we were raised, but people around us too. I'm sure if I went to a group of someone from a different culture, it might have been different.